Hi everybody, welcome to Paper Wishes Weekly Webisodes. I'm Lene Gehrig, and today from our friends at Craftreat, I have two quick folios. One is an accordion folded folio and the other one is an envelope pocket. I'm going to show you how to put both of them together today. This is the envelope pocket version perfect for fall. It has a little magnet closure like this, and then you can flip through your pages, perfect for small photos or for journaling, a special little trip. So cute. And then down here is the little pocket with a little magnet closure and some cute little pieces to put in there as well. You guys, these are so fun to play with. I can't wait to show you what else we did with them. So come play with us. All right, so in each one of these kits, you're actually getting 3 of these envelope pockets, which is amazing. You get one that's in a black cardstock, a craft cardstock, and a white cardstock. So on the sample that I showed you for this one, of course, I used the craft color cardstock. I thought it went perfect for fall. And I should just show you really quickly what I used. Brand new, from hot off the press, Plaids and Pumpkins 6x6 pattern cardstock. So cute, so fun to work with, you guys. And I also used the coordinating solid cardstock, which, wouldn't you know, I forgot to grab, but the cutting dies as well. Really, really adorable with the little pumpkins, so sweet. And I thought that the little copper jewel dazzles went really nicely with this color scheme. Of course, I inked all of the edges using cocoa bean ink. That just sort of gave an extra little layer of border. So you've got like a kind of a rust color border and then a green border, and then that inked brown edge was really nice. A little orange ribbon from our orange ribbon collection. Grab that right here. There's a really cool little stitched one in there. And then when you open this up, I love all the little places to add photos. Really, really sweet. So we're going to go through this. So let me first show you all of the instructions. So I'm going to fold it kind of like this for now so it doesn't get in the way of my microphone. So it's just step 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through. I went through all the steps to make this, and I do have some little tips for you, but the instructions were very accurate and very easy to use. So it comes with magnets for the closures. So there's multiple magnets here because you have 3 different little books here. And I love the sound of the magnet. It just has that really satisfying little click. Really nice. So does the envelope. Oh, there we go. So let's take a look. Here are the little white pieces, the craft, and then the black. And so I'm going to put together one of these, but we're going to use a different color than the craft since I already did that one. So let's take a look. I'm going to try to keep all this stuff together. Let's take a look at the white one. I think this will show up really nicely on our black background, and you guys will be able to see it really well. So the first thing I would recommend doing before anything else is going on is you're going to score all of your pieces. So, excuse me, you're going to fold on the score lines of all the pieces. They're really nice score lines. They're very well marked. I've gone ahead and used some extra sticky tape, and I've already gone ahead and put it on here. I'll notate again when this is extra sticky tape. It just saves a little time. And then you could use either the red label bad kind or the white tear tape kind. I used, when I put my original book together, I used Cosmic Shimmer glue to put it together. I didn't use tape, but I'm putting tape on this one so we don't have to wait for things to dry. All right, so the other thing is a bone folder, super, super helpful. So you're just gonna fold things over and just really give it a good crease. Okay, so that's gonna be the envelope flap. I put the, then there's another little fold here. This part of the fold is what gives the envelope a little bit of dimension. All right, so there we go. Just like that, what that's looking like. All right, and then I just put the tape right on the back because it's going to get to set down like this. And then here is the base of the envelope pocket. We're going to do the same thing with that one. We're going to crease all of these edges, and as you can see, I've gone ahead and I put tape right there as well. If you don't want the dimension of the pocket, if you just want like a thinner profile book, then just tape it down just like this. You don't need to do that little, it's almost like a little gusset there. There we go, and the last one. And then, before we move on, what I would recommend doing is going ahead and gluing the magnets in place, because you do need to use glue for that instead of tape, and you want to give them plenty of time to dry. So what I did for mine is they show you in the instructions where to put them, but I just sort of assembled my little envelope just like this. The top goes kind of notches in there like that. And then I've got these, and you need what they call just a little blank, like a little piece of metal like that, a disc, a blank, and then the magnet part. And there's multiples in here. Now I will caution you, please, with these magnets, keep them secure. We don't want pets getting a hold of these, or children. They're deadly. So keep them secure and put this someplace secure in your bag. Don't leave them sitting out on your table. It's very important. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is take this little disc part, and you're just going to glue it right about there at the inside tip. Okay? Come on, glue bottle. I borrowed Debbie's glue bottle. She keeps this great little stainless steel pin in it so that it doesn't have a problem. And there we go. Oh, a little bit of a problem. I don't think she's used it for a while. We're going to put that right there. And then you want to just align that with where it's going to go right here. And then this is what I did. I just put a little dot of glue right there so that I could see where they would attach. And you're going to put that one right there. Okay? And you're just going to let those dry, and then we're going to cover them with paper. So we want those to be well dry by the time we do that. All right, this is the outside part right here, okay? And we're going to go ahead and fold those as well. There we go. That's just going to sit up just like that. Now this book, on the packaging, on the cover rather, they did theirs this way, okay? And I did mine this way. So I did it because I wanted to show you could do it either way. This way, of course, the pocket goes this way, and mine is like this. So it works either way. Just make sure you pay attention to the direction that your paper images are, okay? So if you accidentally turn it this way while you're constructing it, you want to make sure everything is going in the same direction. I made that mistake once or twice. All right, so here's the little flippy piece that keeps all of those little other pieces, all of those pages in place. Now, while I was scoring all of these, and I'm only going to just score 2 of these for now, while I was scoring them, I also went ahead and inked the edges of them so that they were all prepped and ready. Let's do one more. All right. So we're all set. Now, the first thing I did was go ahead and do the pocket part of this project. And I have a couple of tips for you on how to cover these little shapes here, this little triangle with paper, and also to accommodate this right here. Because the 6x6 paper is a really nice fit. It leaves a nice little border around the edge. See? Oops, I can get that out of your way. It's really nice, especially when the edge is inked. You don't have to ink it. But how to accommodate, like covering this part right here, getting that V shape, and also allowing yourself to have a border. So one of 2 things. You could just go ahead and glue it just like this and then cut right there. But I wanted to have just a little bit showing along the bottom edge. So this is what I did. I just kind of pulled this up, exaggerated how much I was going to leave at the bottom edge, turned it over. This is before you would glue it down. And just take your scissors and just cut it like that. Okay. Oop, got a little ouchie there. And then you can pull it back down a little bit. And now you have a border all around the edges, right? Just don't glue it down before you do that. And then when you're done, you have this piece right here. Okay. And you could just, as I said, cover this and then trim it like that. But I really wanted to have this border right here. Okay. So we're going to do the same thing with this. We're going to just drop it down. If I want to have a border that looks like that, okay, I'm going to drop it down just a little bit farther. Turn this one over. This one's easier because you're not doing the notch. You're just making really simple cuts like that. All right, so now let's scooch it up. Look at that, you have a nice border. So that's what I did. You could, of course, do something different. And then with this piece, these pieces right here, okay, remember they're going to go like this. I ended up just taking my pumpkin paper. Well, we'll use this one as an example. And I wanted to show you that you can just take it, put glue over the surface of this. I'm going to give you a little demo here. If Debbie's glue will cooperate, Debbie. All right, we made it work. So just a little bit of glue around the outside edges, and then I'm just going to put the 6x6 paper just like this. And you'll see on each of these 6x6 sheets, there's sort of a little vignette on this corner, and then there's another vignette on this corner. And what I ended up doing is taking two of the same papers, and I used this one on this side, and then on another one, I kind of focused on this side. So let's take a look. So on this one, we have the little scarecrow. This is a good example. This one has this paper here, and then when you turn, then I focused on the upper right corner. And then here we have the scarecrow here. We have this side here. For this one, it's this all over pattern like this. But I had left over from the sunflowers from the scarecrow, and I just cut a little strip just like this. It's about 1 1/4 inches wide, and I just made a little border. So that way you can use all of these little extra pieces. So let's cut this off and I'll show you what I'm talking about more specifically. I stuck to my magnet. There we go. Here we are. We're going to just go like this. And then you could use a corner rounder on these papers if you want, pages if you wanted, but I just took my scissors and I just rounded it like that. All right, so there's ink the edges of that, and there's the first page. Not literally the first page, but you get my meaning. And then on this one, you could take another one. You could just recycle this right there and then cut the top off, and you could use what was on the back as a border right here. Just using as much of these papers as possible. All right, so what we're going to do now is talk about how I assembled this part right here, because the instructions were very, very good about the waterfall here. But I did notice that they didn't give any measurements about how far in between these spaces were. So I came up with a little trick I'm going to show you. So I would recommend taking this one and just gluing this one down. I'm just going to tape it first. So I would recommend doing the first page and the last page, and here is why. Go. And so this is folded over, and then you're putting this not necessarily flush with the side. You could leave a little space. Then going like that, that's going to flap over just like that. Oh no, Lene, except I put it too low. Okay, this is why we use tape. You can pull it off. All right, so get some of that off. Now we're just going to just move it up so it's correct. So I'm glad that happened. Now I can show you, leave room for this part to close right there. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. All right, and then their instructions just have you go down like this to the bottom. But when I did that originally and I put all of these pages down, I had left over like big space down at the bottom. So this is what I would recommend. Go ahead and take your tape or your glue. I did like using glue instead because it gives you a little bit of wiggle room while it's drying. And Cosmic Shimmer glue really grabs quickly. All right, so now we're going to put this page right here at the very bottom. And then the only thing you're really watching here is to make sure this edge, the right edge, and the left edge are aligned. Because you don't want your waterfall to kind of look like that as you're going down. All right, and then what I did was I just cut a piece of paper the same size as this, and I just glued that right there. All right, the other pieces I just evenly spaced, and I left about, oh, I want to say maybe 1/4 of an inch between this piece right here and the top edge of this piece. I just left a little 1/4 of an inch in between each one because you only have 1, 2, like after this one, you have 3 more to fit in here. And then that was easy to do. So let's go ahead and we'll put this one in. All right. So this one, once again, you're aligning. So we could even do something like this, where we're just aligning the top. And then, whoa, that's too much space.
Hello.
Whoa. I was trying to be tricky and like align the top edges, the sides together. I'm just going to do it the way I originally did it. All right, so here we go. Aligning the left and the right, and then anchoring that down. Just like that. And then just keep going all the way down so they're evenly spaced between the top one and the bottom one. And then I just cut, when I was all done, I had these pieces in between and I didn't really like how they looked. So I just cut little like 3/8 of an inch wide pieces and I glued them in between. And that just made a nice cover. So let's take a look at this. Just like that. Now, this piece right here, remember I told you I just cut this piece out of the pattern cardstock and it's the same size as this. Before you glue that down, we need to do the little closure bit, right? So I went ahead and I folded this. This. Come on, come on, come on, come on. I'm going to use my little picker. There we go. And then this piece is just going to go kind of right in the middle here. And then this is getting covered up with that extra little piece that I cut out right there. And then, of course, I had it covered with patterned paper on both sides. Before you cover it with patterned paper, this is the part where you would glue your magnet on here. Or if you were smart, you'd cover this with patterned paper and have glued this on before you taped this in. But I'm assuming everybody would know that part. There we go. And then you would just let that dry. Okay, now this part right here is going to get folded down. They're all going to get folded down. The other part I neglected to show you because I was in such a hurry was the little blank spot. This just needs to get tucked in on the spot we already glued. So we're just going to tuck it in there and pretend that didn't happen. All right, so this is going to land right about there. Another great reason for using glue. It's because you can just pull it apart. There we go. That nice little click. All right, I'm just gonna leave that there to let it dry. So you guys, that was my tip on this one. All right, follow the instructions and you really will not have any problems. They're very, very good. They're very thorough. So yeah, you're just putting your magnets in, you're covering everything with paper, you're putting your little magnets on the pages I just showed you after the fact, and then covering all of your pages front and back with paper. You're aligning them here. One more thing I should show you before we move on is when this piece right here is taped in place, we want to make sure that this piece is sort of tucked into this piece. So let me show you that, because that was a little tricky. Come on. Should have used the tear tape on this one. I'm just going to leave that spot. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just tape this right there. All right, and then this piece. Okay, and of course, you know, you should have like taped this piece down, but I was just getting impatient with myself. Then we're going to take this piece and we're just going to put it inside the top of the envelope so that it rests on the top of the envelope right here. And then we're just going to secure that so that it clicks in place. Oops, let's move out a little bit, please. Go. And so then that's just going to, oh, I pulled these magnets are really strong, you guys. My glue was not dry. All right, so then that's just going to click in place, but I wanted to show you this needs to be tucked into this part right here. Okay, so there. Those were my little tips for putting this all together. I think this is just the sweetest little album. Like I said, it's multi-directional, which I think is really fun. All right, let's look at the accordion. So the accordion one, here's the accordion. Now this one also has a magnet on the front, a nice little closure. Open this up, and I used Christmas Cardinals 6x6 pattern cardstock. I also used the chipboard, and then I wanted to just add some more color to my pages, so I also used Joyful Christmas 6x6 pattern cardstock. And the dazzles I added are red, just jewel border dazzle stickers. And then on the front here, this little piece that I did some matting with, I used, instead of the cardstock that comes with the pattern cardstock, I used red brushed diamond papers. They come in this 4-pack. They're lightweight and they have a nice little texture, and it's really nice glitter paper. All right, so for this one, this accordion folds out, so we're going to need to zoom way out. There we go. And it goes just like that. Isn't that pretty? There's another one. Isn't that pretty? It goes all the way out. All right, so this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 panels. And then this was the one that I just covered the inside back. And then you can turn it over and there's more panels. And then what I did is I just made little pockets out of some of the panels. So this would be a great place to share photos of Christmases past. That would make a really fun gift idea. Or put, you know, this year's Christmas photos in there. Really fun, really easy to put together. So we're going to do that. Let's talk a little bit about the chipboard first. So for this piece, where did I put the chipboard? Here we go. I just used this piece right here and I inked it just with the surface of the ink pad with khaki ink, and then the little pine cones with cocoa bean. And then there's actually a couple of more of the individual pine cones. I tucked one under here and then one here, and then some individual pine boughs. I tucked those under as well. I did that because I wanted some like bracing to go under the chipboard that I was layering. So I glued 1, 2 down first. This is another piece I glued down. This is a whole piece, and then this one's on top. So there's actually 3 layers there. And then we've got our beautiful little cardinal. I colored the like mask area black, and then used citrus yellow rather, for the beak, and then this dark red blend and dull green. So the dark red is for the bird, and then the bird here, and then the dull green I did the Christmas joy with. And then just used a tiny applicator bottle to glue this down. That seemed to work really well. A little bit of red gingham from our red gingham collection, just tucked right in there, worked really, really nicely. All right, so let's get on to the construction. So for this one, since we used the white one on this, I should show you the sides. I used strips here and on the back as well. I'm just going to leave this one off to the side to sort of refer to it. So on this one, you guys, you're going to get inside of this kit, of course, the white version, and then 3 sets of all the little magnets. Here's the base of the book. Here's the craft version, which is what I'm going to build with you, and then a black version as well. So it's amazing that 3 of these. It's such a great value. And we're going to go ahead and put together the craft version. I'd say out of the 2 kits today, this one is really, really quick to put together. There's minimal trimming of paper and whatnot. So for this one, you go ahead and you're getting 2 of these accordion pieces, just like this. And I've gone ahead and scored them. Each one of these has a little tab on the end of it, like this. And I've gone ahead and put some tear tape right there. Okay, this piece right here, I've gone ahead and score. I keep saying I use score and fold interchangeably. I've folded the score lines. And then this piece right here is what is on the cover. That's like on your gatefold right there. So it's really nice just to have a little piece that you can cover. It makes that more substantial. So on this, I wanted to show you when you pull this out, this part right here, okay, this tab is right there. So it does matter where you attach the tabs. For example, if you attached it over here, the book would open like this, okay? Either one is fine, but I attached it right here, and I'm going to demonstrate that. So I'm going to take the end of this right here, and I'm going to attach it to the tab on this one. And move that out of the way now. And on this one, you just want to make sure that you stay off of that fold right there so that this folds together. All right, so then once you've got the accordions done like this, okay, this is going to be your top page right here. It's going to accordion fold out like that. Now, there's different ways you can accordion fold. So you could like accordion fold it in different directions. I think it's just fun just to kind of go like this, and then I went ahead and went like this when they were all stacked together, just to compress them even more, because it does make a nice difference there. All right, so now my book is opening on this side, and we have the little flap right down here, and we're going to place that inside, and we're going to put it right here on this side, and we're going to have it so the flap goes this direction so that we can cover it with paper. So let's go ahead and take this. You can use glue, you can use tape, whatever you like. Just want to make sure that you're staying away from this fold right here. Just need to move it over a little bit. So everything is now going to close up around it just fine. And then you're going to open it up just like that. So let's make sure that is good. All right. And then when you're ready to add this piece, okay, you would, before you covered the outer cover with paper, you would just put one of the little magnet pieces right here and the other one right there. I sandwiched mine between this paper, the red paper, and this cardboard piece right here. So it's stuck in between there. All right, so then let's talk about the papers. You're cutting these down to, they're 6 inches tall already, so you're just cutting them down to 4 inches. I'm going to show you what I did with this piece right here, this beautiful wreath. Okay, I just measured it over to 4 inches, like this. Then one of these pieces can just go get glued right in there. And then you have another piece that you could use as a border. So let's go back to my original. So you could just take some of this beautiful plaid and then you could put a little border on it, jazz it up with some jewel dazzles. I used one of these to cover right there. Then I just took strips here. But let's talk about, I'm gonna remember which side it's on. Here we go. So to achieve this look of the oval wreath, I took this one, cut it down, put it on this side. And then I took another one and I cut it down on this side and put that one over there so that it just elongated it. So in either direction, you're gonna trim either these birds away or these birds away. And then glue that in the center so you have sort of a really fun opening piece right here. And then yeah, I just used these pieces as little border pieces all the way around. Let's see what else we can talk about. The pockets, leftover pieces from cutting these pieces down, made nice little pockets, little cutouts from the 6x6 papers. Just really all fits together so nicely. And remember, you guys, you get 3 of these. So these are absolutely perfect. Both of these are lovely for using 6x6 paper packs. The instructions here are really, really good. You're showing here that you're gluing together the accordion pieces. You're covering those accordion pieces with paper. Yes, I would recommend covering them with paper before you're gluing them into this outside book piece. Then you're folding the outer book piece, and then here you're gluing or taping it in like I showed you how, and then here you're doing your little magnet pieces and stuff like that with the outside cover. And then you have your finished piece. So the instructions are very, very good, very comprehensive. To get 3 each of these designs, what amazing gifts that these would make for the holidays. You could make them for every day. You could make birthday books with them. You could do Christmas is Past with them. You could do recipe books where you could do photos of the recipes here and then put the recipe cards in here for holiday favorite foods. You could do this as a Halloween book and you could put trick-or-treat pictures in here. Just really, really fun. So you guys, we have a fantastic money saver right over here on the right-hand side. Definitely check that out. Down below on our Paper Wishes webisode page, we have all of the items listed down below, all the paper packs, all the dazzle stickers, and these listed individually if you're interested in one or the other. If you're watching us over on YouTube, hello, please subscribe. It helps our small company. Look down below the video in the description box and you'll see a link that'll take you to this Paper Wishes webisode page. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.